between sisters.
Okay.
We're having a between sisters moment right now.
Yes.
Yes, we're having a between sisters moment. The crew is dense in more ways than one. We're missing some cast members, but it's all right because we here between sister style. Shout out to Chola B and to EVE.
We love you. Hearts.
All right, first then we got Keisha Keesh. I know one thing, Shanah, if you don't fix your face. Next in, we got this heifer right here. Shanah Dawn. And I'm Chaya. Lord, please send us to Chantropay, because God, we need a vacation.
We need a real vacation.
We need a vacation.
We need a vacation. Yes.
Because it is real in these sister streets.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
I mean real. All right. We wanted to give a shout out to Olivia Newton-John. The passing of Olivia Newton-John. She is an icon in our eyes. You know, whoa.
I have been a pink lady for Halloween about 10 different times.
I mean, she obviously was an icon, and unfortunately she died after a long battle with breast cancer. And it just goes to show you that even in 2022, we're still losing the battle, you know, to breast cancer. So, you know, to get checked as often as you possibly can, women and men, because it's real out here.
Yeah.
To get your breast exam. I mean, I don't know why in 2022 we still got to go through the most horrendous mammogram test ever. Those of you who have gone through the mammogram that have literally had to have your underarm pits on the table to get your mammogram done.
And the way the machine smashes it.
You know,
a pancake. And I'm a little bit endowed.
Oh, girl.
So just imagine all of this trying to fit in that machine.
It's like the lion from the Wiz. Just let me splatter on that damn table to get that mammogram. It's so much.
You know,
but, I mean, sorry.
It's ironic that we're talking about this because, you know, when someone calls your number, your phone, and it's a number you don't recognize, and you answer it like, is it, you like hello? Like, she's like, said my name, and I'm like, who am I speaking to? She's like, oh no, we're here to schedule your annual mammogram. That was today. I was like, I'm doing
Wow.
It was today. So I said, wait, do I need a prescription for this? She said, don't you worry about it. We're going to get it from your doctor. Because I'm like, normally, like, my doctor will be the one. He's like, no, we're going to get that for you. I was like, okay. So I get my mammogram done in 2 weeks. So I'll go through the process again of getting them squished.
Yeah, no, it's about time for me to go again, too.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gents, if you have not, please go and get your breast exams annually so that, you know, you can be ahead of the game, because she battled for 20 plus years with this disease, and she unfortunately lost that battle. But she, Sandy, you know that you're the one in the what? You're the one in what? Honey, you know, it's not like Grease. There's nothing like Grease.
I've been hand jiving for the last couple of days.
Yes. It's nothing like Grease.
Girl, I just thought you said hand jobbing.
I know. Hand jiving. Hand jiving.
JAVING.
Jive. But rest in peace. Rest in power, Olivia Newton-John. Right. So, on to the next. It is a epidemic going on, and we're not talking about COVID. We're not talking about monkeypox. We are talking about trying to find a good man. So recently, the New York Times did an article on a sister who had a first date at Popeyes. Okay. And she has her master's, number one. Her name is Sharhea Wade, 34 years old. And she had her first date at Popeyes Chicken.
Parking lot. In the parking lot.
In the parking lot.
They never made it inside.
Yeah. And he actually stood her up twice before they had their first date. That's a cute little straw butterfly.
Oh, that is.
Thank you.
They actually had their first date in the parking lot, but he canceled twice before the pair finally met up in Popeyes parking lot. And Sharhea added that the line for Popeyes was so long that Stevenson, that's the name of the guy, Stevenson Boyce, he's 44, and Sharhea is 34. And she said that Stevenson eventually purchased the meal himself from the KFC across the street.
And then brought it back to the parking lot. So the two continued dating as Stevenson let go of 5 other women he also dated, eventually making Wade his girlfriend. Months later, during a trip to Barbados, Stevenson admitted he proposed to Sharhea with a ring purchased by his close friend and colleague. The couple got married on July 23rd after sharing the announcement publicly went viral due to their unorthodox love story, getting hundreds of comments in agreement. One Twitter user wrote, "Their first date was not at Popeyes, which would certainly have been one thing, but in the parking lot at Popeyes. After he canceled on her twice, he was a divorcee 10 years her senior, dating 6 women. His co-worker bought the ring. She's a VP at a multi-billion-dollar company." You know, you done reading?
Go ahead, girl.
So I dissected the story, and I was going back and forth and back in my brain about this whole situation. First of all, God bless her if it was her that, what's her name? Shahiri, what's her name?
Sharhea.
God bless Sharhea for even revealing that story, because that's something you don't brag about. So the fact that we even found out about this story, she sees some kind of love in that story. I don't consider that a love story. I would have kept that to myself. That's number one. In his defense, because I try to look at it in all angles, he was dating 6 women, including her. Mm-hmm. How much money could he have really had to be dating 6 women? So, and it's, you know how they say you weeding out the weak ones? So in my mind, I'm thinking that he was weeding out to see which one he was going to keep as his main girlfriend. And when he was standing in that parking lot, he was like, "So what you do for a living? How much you make?" You know what? I'm keeping you a keeper. So I think initially he wasn't taking her seriously, but I wouldn't have admitted that to nobody. I don't even have told the 2 of y'all that this dude, my first date was in the parking lot.
Yo, your own sisters.
I wouldn't have told y'all that. I'm keeping that to myself. So I don't know what made her, who's a VP of a billion-dollar company, multi-billion-dollar company, thought that this story should have been revealed to the world. But I did see a post that her best friend, who was a good friend of hers that was at the wedding, stated that the person who actually wrote the article omitted a lot of pieces out of the story. So they left the parts that made the story sound juicy. So she said that there was some part that was omitted out of the story that should have been kept in there. I'm assuming that she feels that should have been kept in there, that would explain a little bit more of why this VP of a multi-billion-dollar company would accept a date in the parking lot of Popeyes.
So Look.
Okay.
It's 2022. We have apps where people find love all the time. People meet in the grocery store, in the club, in the bar, at work. At this point, what works for them works for them. That doesn't mean that it has to work for us or for you. That's something that they chose. That there was obviously something that he did or said that made her say, I want to know more about this man. I want to be with him. I mean, when Kim Kardashian started to date Pete Davidson, everybody was like, oh Lord, how she with him? He's this, he's that, da da da. He gave her the pizza parlor. He gave her ice cream. That was something she obviously wanted. She needed something that was normal from all of the. So what works for you works for you. There are no perfect love stories. So it's just like, I wish them the best. Would it be me? No, but that's them.
So when you introduce this topic, like I said, I'm like all over this. Like I'm the one end, I'm with you, Shanah. Then the flip side to it is, how bad has it gotten in these streets that we are accepting first dates in parking lots? Like, has the date? I haven't been in a dating game for over 20 years, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm gonna give a little history about who I am. So I went to Hampton University, and when I went to Hampton University, I was a broke college girl. So whoever I dated, it was strategic. You had to have a little money in your pocket, because I love to go to the movies and I love to go out. I wanted to sit in a restaurant. You was not taking me through no drive-through at McDonald's. My roommates was having sex with dudes that barely took him in the parking lot or barely took him in the drive-through. No, I was sitting in restaurants, and I was going to movie theaters. And that was back then when I was 18, 19 years old. My mother raised me, and she told me my self-worth and told me I was worth going out, sitting in a restaurant where a dude had to leave a tip. So that's how I was raised. So my question is, how bad has it gotten in these streets where these ladies have to accept a parking lot date? Also, too, when I talk to single women, the problem is with these dating apps, everyone just wants sex. Now, don't quote me, but the women I've spoke to that are in these dating apps, the problem that they're having is the men want sex. Even on Christian Mingle, the app, the men want sex. So they're on these apps trying to get these Christian girls to have sex with them. It's getting really bad for these ladies. So they have to accept the whole parking lot, you know, not all of them, but a lot. I'm hearing, you know what? Also, it was pissing me off when I heard a lot of women would meet a guy and first time they talk about the first date. You know what the guy wants? He'll say, "So when you gonna cook for me?" We didn't even go on the first date yet. When you gonna cook for me? So a lot of women have the tables have turned where guys have so much options that the females who are desperate got to accept these mediocre first dates or these mediocre, because what's happening is these dudes are not just dealing with one chick. They dealing with multiple chicks. So their thing is, I'm not going to spend money on all of y'all. I got to figure out who is worth my money. And then that's how I'll pick and choose who I'm going to sit down and wine and dine and date.
And that's the part that I'm talking about. Shauna's just like, you know, if she's happy, she's happy. Nah, B. We're not going there. Nah, B. I can't agree with you. And you want to know why? Because number one, their wedding photo looks like it was taken on the side of the highway in the brush where there was a little bit of foliage that was not manicured by the highway patrol.
But if she in love, she in love.
And you know what? She can be in love. But this is where we have standards. This is where what we call standards come in.
Well, we don't know if she doesn't have standards. Let me
tell you something, B. She met him in a pandemic, right? She had enough standards for herself to go to college to get her master's degree. Mm-hmm. She had enough standards for herself to work hard as a 34-year-old. Well, I'll let you speak.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Let me take a little sip while you speak.
Take a little nip. She had enough standards for herself to not only work hard as a 34-year-old young woman, but she became a VP at 34. That is almost unheard of as a young Black woman in America. Mm-hmm. She is a small percentage of Black women in America. That's number one. Number two, she could, and I know that now that she's now cutting her chances of certain men because she is climbing that ladder. So I know that once you go higher as a Black woman, your options get lower. Your options get smaller. Mm-hmm. But your options don't get Popeyes.
We don't know what she experienced before. And I'm saying, suppose he gave her something.
My man is a divorcee. My man is a divorcee. He is a divorcee. And after 6 months of dating, and he was also with 6 other chicks. Mm-hmm. Okay? So 6 and 6. After 6 months of dating him, and after he was with 6 other chicks, she moved him in to her apartment.
Oh God, I didn't hear that part. Jeez.
But they bought a house together. They moved in together.
Okay, did they buy a house together? Because if he could not afford a ring, a ring, the ring didn't mean a thing. So if he could not afford a ring, mm-hmm. how could he afford a home?
Child.
Can we break it all the way down? If you can't afford a ring, how could you afford a home?
But if she is happy, who are we to say?
Listen, at the end of the day, because we all are married. Okay? Now, you know, I'm trying to plan my words accordingly. At the end of the day, happy is one thing, but you need a little change to ensure that
maybe she felt like she didn't need that. She wanted something else. She married for love and
as a mother of 3 females, that's one of my concerns. Is that my daughters, because I'm pushing for all of them to finish school, mm-hmm. and my concern is that they're gonna have to settle because the market is shitty. And the dudes that are worth being dated because they're doctors, lawyers, or make 6 figures, those are the ones that have the pick of the litter. They have all these women lined up waiting to be picked. But the sad part is it's gotten so bad out there that the guy that's a doctor, the guy that's a bum, both have the same kind of options. Because women are so desperate that both men got the same kind of broads going after them. So this game has gotten so bad that the women who are highly educated are settling for, they just settling for a relationship. Mm-hmm. And not sell, and unfortunately, some people are afraid of being alone. So they'd rather be with a bum than be alone. And it's gotten bad out there. Just speaking to people.
Listen, this whole marrying for love business is for the birds. You better marry for your comfortability.
But she figured I could.
You over here taking your wedding pictures in the bushes.
But that's what worked. That's what works for her.
Look at her wedding photo. It's in the bushes. It's in the bushes.
It don't work for you. It worked for her.
You remember when we used to live in Flatbush and we used to walk down the street and there was like a little inlet and they didn't build nothing on it yet and there was like a whole bunch of shrubbery. There was a whole bunch of shrubbery and a couple of trees. That's where they took their photo.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
Look, I wish them the best.
Yeah, me too. I
And if at any point it doesn't work for her, then
you know how they say, if you like it, I love it. No, that ain't me.
No,
that's not me. No.
Well, you see, Mary J. Blige said the next dude she married gonna have to be a millionaire, cause the one she married,
she ain't taking care of nobody else.
He took her to the cleaners. So I pray Miss Little Popeyes' first date have a prenup, cause Mr. Divorcee will take her to the cleaners if she's making way more than him, and
that's what usually happens. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
You like hopefully like to play that game, you know, the character Bobby Brown played, you know.
Yeah.
Shine him up, you fix his teeth. You know, and all of a sudden now he looking at everybody, you know.
And that's what happened with Kendu and Mary.
Kendu, Wendy Williams, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
You fix these, you give them a nice home, you fix them up, fix their skin, fix their teeth, and all of a sudden now they think, you know, you give them some nice clothes, and all of a sudden now they think they Big Willie Bobo.
Mm-hmm.
Word to Herb. You know? Yeah. I just want to say that we all Generation X's. Anyway, tell us what y'all think about the story. You know, let us know what y'all think about the story in the comments, okay? Another breaking story is that Angela Yee had came out with a cryptic message, you know, saying that the Breakfast Club is going to change as we know it. And then we found out that she's getting her own show, her own nationally syndicated show. Congrats to Angela Yee.
Okay.
That is huge for a woman to be heading.
Woman of color.
That part, I was about to say that. To be headlining her own nationally syndicated show on iHeart. And, you know, she had paid her dues on Sirius Radio, and now she's going to be headlining her own show and still having her podcast, Lip Service, you know, that she has been doing for years. And she has been with Charlamagne the God and Envy for 12 years on The Breakfast Club. And she announced that she is really excited. And it seemed like her co-hosts, Charlamagne and Envy, are really excited for her. Okay. Which is good. It seems like they're all
they knew, obviously. It
yeah.
wasn't a surprise. And I think that, you know, after you've done something for so long, and I think for her, she's sort of sometimes gotten from the background of the other two. So it's just like, I feel like this is her time to shine.
I'll be honest, so I'm gonna miss the three of them together.
Oh yeah,
they were very entertaining. They really were. Just the chemistry they had amongst each other. Sometimes they got really raw with each other, but all in all three of them were dynamic, and I wish them the best.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the other two going to do? I didn't get to look that up. Is
They'll still be on.
continue with the show. I don't know if they're going to be replacing
right.
Angela,
because I think she's there until like the fall or something.
Yeah, she's going to be there another month until while details are finalized. But in the meantime, in between time, you know, it's a good look for a Black woman who, you know, her, obviously she's what, is she Jamaican and Asian?
Yeah, some kind.
You know, it's a good look. I'm very happy for her.
Do you think they're gonna replace her? Do you think they're gonna get another co-host?
That's gonna be.
They have to, because Charlemagne has his own stuff and he flies back and forth, and so does Envy when he has his stuff that he does. So they always, they always have to have two people, at least there to keep the show going. So I don't know how that's going to work unless they, call in guest host or something like that. I don't know if it's going to be the same, but it'd be nice if they have another female there.
I don't know why this popped in my head. It might sound corny, but Taraji P. Henson popped in my head as a third wheel. I don't know why.
You think so?
I don't know, because something about her is just very vibrant. They need a vibrant person on that show.
They need a who?
A vibrant, a colorful person.
Yeah.
I think, but then on the flip side, they need somebody sort of even kill, because the other two are so
over the top. Anyway, congratulations, Angela.
Yes.
Sisters are doing it for themselves.
So we gotta support her, y'all. We gotta support, so she can get them ratings.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Congrats to Angie. Now, talking about another sister, Ashanti. She's been trending a lot lately.
She sure has.
Not because she came out with a new album or a new single. Nah. It's because this nigga Irv Gotti is singing like a little bitch. But I already spoke about that on the latest episode of Break It Down.
Yeah, but we didn't.
Oh,
sorry. We didn't.
All right.
So I got some stuff to say. So
all right, boo.
I'm sorry. Okay, so 20 years later, nobody technically knew that they were smashing.
Mm-hmm.
It was sort of like, did she, didn't she? But it wasn't like, no. Irv said when the feds came, she was like, I can't, I'm out. She's not from the streets. She's not from that life.
She's from Glen Cove, Long Island.
The feds was coming.
Anybody that knows New York, Long Island, that part of Long Island is not the hood.
It's not the hood. The feds came. The feds was coming to bring y'all down because of drugs, guns.
Is that how they broke up? Or did they ever discuss how they broke up?
Well, no, he discussed how they broke up, but Shanah, you want to finish?
Yeah, I just feel like he's doing this, the Murder Inc., the documentary, and he did say that they did reach out to her so she can share.
Thrice.
Yes, they did reach out to her so she can share her side of the story. I just feel like, why now? Why did he have to share that they were smashing? She brought him the watch he was wearing on Drink Champs. I just was like, why now? And then, well, I'm sure you'll go into Fat Joe, but it's just like, that's the part I didn't understand. Like, why now?
I think out of everybody that was from Murder Inc., the only one that anyone's thinking about is Ashanti. Like, Ashanti came from the dust and revived her career. Also, too, she's re-recording. Has she done that yet? Would she re-record all her songs?
She can.
Well, that was one of the things that they also spoke about on Drink Champs, because of the fact that Irv owns all of the masters. Right. And he said that as a producer, that is basically the only thing that he eats off of. As artists can tour and they can do all the other things. They don't have 360 deals. 360 deals are when basically the label eats off of everything, the touring, the records and everything else that they do. But Irv only ate off of the music.
Okay.
So Ashanti can make money off of touring, off of movies, off of everything else that she wants, but he has the masters. And if he gives her the masters, and this is according to Irv, then she is now taking money out of his mouth and his kids' mouths. Right. Because that is the only thing that he would have to make money off of. Because artists have everything else to make money off of, but producers only make money off of the tracks, which is understandable. That is probably the only thing that I would be able to understand from Irv, because Irv was saying a whole lot of reckless stuff out of his mouth regarding Ashanti. Now, how they broke up. Okay. So Irv did say, and I found this out from Noe many shows ago, when I was still a baby boomer. Many shows ago, that Irv said on Wendy Williams that he smashed Ashanti.
When, like a long
when Wendy was on and he was being interviewed by Wendy.
I'll be honest with you, I knew from years ago that he had smashed Ashanti. I had heard that. I
think it was on the actual television show. It wasn't on the radio. It was on the television show.
Oh, okay.
So he had said that he found out that Ashanti, or him and Ashanti, were over when he was sitting in the stadium when he was home watching a game. And then everybody in the stadium was like, ah! And then it was Nelly coming into the stadium with Ashanti. And that's how he found out that Ashanti had moved on with somebody else. And he actually, because I went and watched the entirety of that part of the interview, and basically he is hurt. He is butt hurt that this chick went and moved on, because he was like, yo, that was my bitch. We was making money together. Like, how many people that you could make money with, and then you can have sex, and then you could talk to after you have sex, and then you
could have a song,
and then you could have a song. Like, too.
You
was married and had kids.
But
that's right. He was married.
But he said she was not the cause of the.
No, he did say he did.
Yeah.
He did make that clear, and I was glad about that.
Yeah.
That he said that he was already out the house with him and Ashanti was together, and that he made sure that he told Ashanti that she was not the reason for him and his wife not being together, and that she was not the reason for him getting the divorce, and he could tell the audience who the chick was that actually broke up the marriage, but it wasn't Ashanti. So they were just like, so you don't be watching Ashanti's Thirst Trap Thursdays? And he was like, yo, if you would see the bitches that I be with now, I like Ashanti. Like, nigga, that's what everybody say. Exactly. Like, you can have the baddest chick right now physically, but she don't match up to what you had.
Exactly. And I think what's making him mad because Ashanti is out there doing her thing. She's touring. She stays busy. At one point, she lost a lot of weight. So she's staying relevant.
And Nelly just had a concert and brought Ashanti on. And after they finished, somebody said on the mic, let me see if I got floor seats to the game. That was a jab at Irv. So Fat Joe came out after the interview became public on Drink Champs. I'm telling you, Drink Champs is out here doing numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they out here doing numbers. And Fat Joe was obviously upset. You know, now one thing I could say, Fat Joe was talking about the fact that Irv was calling chicks bitches. But let me redirect your attention to Exhibit A from the verses with Fat Joe. Talk about Lil Mo and Vita. Can I direct your attention? Can we cut to the clip of the verses with Fat Joe? You know, cause this is when they say people in glass houses.
Yeah.
Don't throw stones. You know, but he said, you know, I'm not one to be coming to a girl's rescue, assisted rescue, but he was like, Ja was right there. Ja was right there. That's all I'm saying.
But if you watch the interview, he kept saying, yo, let's change the subject, stop living in the past, we past that. He said, I always feel like I'm caught in
the middle. It got so bad that they started calling Ja Switzerland. It got so bad during the interview, they started calling Ja Switzerland.
Because he was just like, I feel like I'm always in the middle. He's in the middle with the Ashanti Irv thing. He's in the middle with the
J-Lo.
With the J-Lo Irv thing. You know, so it's just like he's just like I
got $1 million question though. I wish I had a little tea. How did Ashanti slip through the cracks? What was you doing for weeks when Nelly was winding it down to your broad? Like, how did this occur? Like, you must not have been spending that much time with Ashanti for Ashanti to be able to go on a whole date in the parking lot of Popeyes with Nelly.
And he said that he bought Ashanti a mansion. He said he bought Irv. Irv said he bought her a mansion and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Okay, you know what, y'all? I just changed my mind. I'm with Irv. Let me buy a nigga a mansion watching the goddamn TV, and I see that nigga on TV with another bitch, and I bought a mansion for him. Oh, there's gonna be some smoke in the city. So you know what, Irv? I'm with you, baby. You didn't get your 2 minutes of you didn't get to get on your soapbox. I'm with you, son. You bought her a whole mansion? And you was watching the game, eating some wings and some mozzarella sticks, and you had to see your broad that you bought a mansion for. You thought she was at home in her mansion.
Not the wings.
Oh, you should have started the story like that. I'm sorry.
But wait. So it gets
I'll be salty 20 years later. Matter of fact, in my 80s, I'll be salty. Tell that bitch I'll see her on the motherfucking other side. I got some shit. Girl! Oh no. Got me heated. I'm mad. I'm with her right now. I call all kind of bitches too. Let you buy a nigga a car.
Well, Ashanti,
and you watching a golf tournament, and you happen to see the car that you bought that nigga pass by in them bushes with the dude and your girl. Will be some smoke in the city.
Listen. So on top of that, Irv Gotti says that his friendship with Fat Joe is now non-existent. He said during a recent interview on Houston's 97.9, The Box, that he specifically took issue with Fat Joe. And he said, I feel like Fat Joe fooled me. He's not my friend. I was fooled. But in life, you get fooled. So now Joe, because Joe checked him, like, dude, but see, that's what he did, and I understand him being hurt. Now, I think Ashanti did what J-Lo did when Puff caught the case.
Did he got arrested? She was like,
this is my chance. I'm out.
Walking up the deuces.
Her team said
my deuce. Yes.
That said, he's fucking up your brand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's fucking, and you know when you fucking with the team's money.
Yep.
You fucking with the brand, you fucking with the team's money as well. Listen, bitch, I got some kids to feed.
That's when she came. That's when she came. She came down. She was like, "What's love got to do with it, babe? What's love? It should be about us." She was like,
so I wonder. So you know, I have mixed emotions about this whole thing because part of me I feel bad for Irv. I really do. But part of me feels like, see, I'm in 3 lanes. I feel bad for Irv. The middle lane is, he should have talked about this years ago. Like, he should have been telling people, like, yo, I bought that broad a damn mansion, and she gonna be up in here in these streets, you know, having sex with other dudes. Like, I would have put her business out there from years ago and let it be. But you gotta keep in mind, he never got his chance to vent. So now he's venting. But I agree with everybody. Let it go. It's been 20 years. But I understand the saltiness.
Well, because I can only imagine, and if you've ever had a loved one that has been involved in a case, whether it be the feds or just the state, that's when you really see who your real friends and family are, because it takes a lot to stick through something like a federal investigation and prison. Like, that's not that thing that you just say, oh, I love him, this is my family.
And he said that he made it seem like he was Shrek and she was Fiona, and that was his one true love.
No.
I do understand why she was just like, this is not what I signed up for.
She said in the back of his Maybach, he's like, I can't do this no more. She put up the murder. She was like, I can't do this no more. That's what he said.
Which I can totally understand. And then,
because at the end of the day, he was still married. He was still legally married when he went down.
Right. Yes, that's true.
So you want me to stick by your side and the wife?
And if you know the system, if you're legally married, the wife has all of the privileges, like they're who the court speaks to, they're who the lawyers speak to, you know. So I don't know.
It should be about us.
Don't understand why is he telling it now. At least that part about them being romantic. I could see him saying, you know,
saying how the song was about him.
We were family, and then she left. I can see that
part.
That
Good.
I can totally understand, but it's just like, did you have to go until she bought you to watch, and then they're gonna read
the inscription
of the watch, and it was just like, why now?
And the fact that he wore the watch 20 years later.
Them to
like that. That
and
was.
He knew it would be
Cause
topic.
Yeah, because Nori was like, is that a so-and-so?
Right. So it's like, I'm going to wear this watch because I know it's going to be a
topic of discussion. So I'm going to be like,
it's this brand. So, and then I can say, oh, Ashanti gave me this.
I know she's at home, like, really?
Well, I just hope she's doing something to where she can tell her side of the story, because I feel like it's a bit one-sided.
You know what? I'm noticing lately people are letting that one person rant, because what happens,
and then just be like, oh well.
And because what happens is when there's no response, then that person that was ranting looks like the psycho person, like they look like the crazy person.
Yeah, sometimes
like when Jaguar Wright was going, putting everybody's business out in the street.
Mm-hmm.
I think one person responded.
So
I'm actually hoping that Ashanti don't say anything, just so that Irv just look like the crazy one, and even though I still feel like that whole ranting thing.
Just because he gave her a house, but he going to talk about that the song that he wrote, that the "I'm So Happy" was about their sex.
It came after one,
I'm gonna tell you what I said on the Break It Down.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all heard that "I'm so happy, baby."
I was never an Ashanti fan, but yeah.
Does that song make you feel like that she actually meant that? Does that sound happy, or does that sound like, oh, I'm good, or does that sound like, I'm alright?
But one thing that is up for
you ain't answer my question. You ain't answer my question.
She's like,
Irv Gotti, now you got beef with damn near everybody because you just decided to yap your gums. Like, some things should stay private. You being hurt because Ashanti chucked her deuces up because she couldn't deal with your federal case and left the family is one thing. But you see how Ja was just, you know what I'm saying? Now I see why, because even Lloyd, they even talked about how Lloyd jumped ship.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And was doing videos with G Unit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of G Unit, I was gonna ask you, has 50 Cent made a comment? Because 50 is always in the wings somewhere.
I haven't heard
waiting to be petty. Waiting to be petty.
I haven't heard anything yet.
I haven't heard anything from 50.
No, he's like this, like Birdman. He's like, ooh, wait till, because he's gonna make a phenomenal post that's gonna wrap everything up in one.
In a bow. Yeah, so let us know what you think about the Murder Inc. documentary, whether or not you think Irv, Fat Joe, or Ashanti is right, or Ja. Where would I be without my baby? So Beyonce released a remix to "You Won't Break My Soul" with Madonna to the Vogue, like a Vogue remix. Come on, Vogue, like that.
Mm-hmm.
The "Break My Soul" remix. And she kind of paid homage to some queens and some houses of style. Balenciaga, Balmain, I think, did she say Gucci, Louis Vuitton, or something like that? I don't remember what houses. I know she said Balmain, Balenciaga. Mm-hmm. But she also named a bunch of women. Mm-hmm. But it appears that she did not mention a queen of hip hop and R&B. And if you're wondering what queen that may be,
It's only one.
MJB.
There's only one queen of the show.
All I really want is to be happy. And she was saying she want to be happy, and she sounded happier than Ashanti. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So, what y'all think?
So, this is my theory. So I feel like Wendy Williams, because you ever watch the Wendy Williams show and Wendy would sit there in Hot Topics and she would create a whole fucking story, excuse my French.
A scenario?
She could, and you would go down the lane, you would go down that rabbit hole with Wendy, knowing that 99% of the stuff that she's saying ain't real.
Ain't true.
But it sounds juicy, and you be like, ooh, if that was a truth, that would be some good truth right there. But you know, it's just some bullshit that Wendy was spewing. So this is my juice.
Oh, Lord.
A lot of people do not realize that Nicki Minaj and Beyonce, I won't say are best friends, but they are really, really close. Like, they go out to dinner. They'll go out on outings. But this has been going on for years. This is not just something overnight. Like, they've had a relationship for a very, very long time. Okay, so that's Bey and Nicki. So Nicki was one of the people. Now, if you've been, would you say, under a rock? What's that saying you say? Kai. You've been on a rock.
If you've been living under a rock in a remote village.
Yes, in a remote village. Little Kim and Nicki Minaj have been enemies for years. They just don't like each other. I think it would literally take Jesus to come down to get the two of them to talk ever again. Like, I don't even think that this can ever be worked out in our lifetime. They just won't ever mesh. So with that being said, anybody that know Lil Kim, Mary J. Blige is her good friend. I don't want to say they besties, but Mary J. Blige, like I remember seeing early this year for Lil Kim's birthday, she had a private dinner with her close friends, and Mary J. Blige was there with Lisa Hilton. Okay, this is Wendy Williams with the tea, the pinky, the cup. So with that being said, if Bey is bestie with Nicki, Nicki's enemies with Kim, Kim is having private affairs, and her closest friends is Mary. The one out of the 29 people was Nicki. There you go. Now, I remember years ago when they was having a feud, when Lil Kim and Nicki was starting to have that feud, Lil Kim was on stage and she was like, yeah, don't quote me exact word for word, but she was like, I was on the phone with Mary last night and we was talking about these girls coming in the game and they need to pay homage to us. So, when I remember hearing that, I was like, Dad, like Kim literally threw Mary under the bus. Like, you didn't have to tell nobody that the two of y'all was on the phone chit-chatting everybody's business about who need to pay homage, but she clearly said Mary J. Blige's name. Now, maybe Queen B was in that conversation. Here's the Wendy part. Maybe they talking about how, you know, Nicki and Beyonce is in the game and they opened up the doors for these two idiots, and now they up there making all these millions of dollars and forgot how they started. You know, from the bottom, it was us that opened these doors for them. I was the one that showed my titty, and now you're able to show both your titties with a little pasty. But I showed the left titty first. I showed my left titty first. Now you're able to go around and show both. And if it wasn't for me, I did that for you. So I think that's the reason why Mary J. Blige's name was not mentioned in this.
I walked so you could run.
Exactly.
So I'm going to debunk your whole story right now. I'm gonna debunk this whole story right now.
Do you take away my Wendy Williams theory?
I'm taking because
all right, so let me hear what you got.
This is how stuff gets started.
You're right, though.
How movies get started, and it's just like, well, who said that? And where was I? This is how stuff gets started. A couple of Halloweens ago, Beyonce did a whole tribute to Little Kim.
Oh, that's right.
She did a whole tribute.
You absolutely
to Little Kim.
Right.
You
absolutely right.
She did like four.
She sure did.
She did. I remember that now.
She did. She sure did.
This is Snuffleupagus right there. I forgot. She remember everything. She remember everything. You
okay.
right. You right, sis. Go ahead.
Mary J and Jay-Z go on tour.
Yeah. They did a tour, the two of them, just the two of them together.
Yeah.
So and
he when he did the live, the MTV live,
he brought out Mary.
Yeah, taking out this time.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
So I believe that if my wife has issues with somebody, I'm not gonna go on tour with them for months at a time. So I'm just saying, is it possible that a song with that's only about 2.5 minutes, maybe she didn't have time to name all 60,000 female artists out there? Is it possible that the next song she does will have Mary in it? Is it possible that I can love someone and not put them in a song? Like, why is this such a big thing?
I think I like my story better.
but she puts Nina Simone, she puts Betty Davis, and then she puts Solange.
Solange is her sister.
I'm just saying.
I would put. Okay, so
she didn't need to put Solange. I'm sorry.
I wrote a book. I put my sisters. I said I thank my sisters. So. I don't understand.
She mentioned Grace Jones twice.
Ooh.
Grace Jones is an icon.
Yes,
you agree.
She could have did Mary J. Blige. She could have replaced the second Grace Jones with Mary.
Yes, but it doesn't mean that she has
Grace Jones is an icon. But while she was pulling up to the bumper, she could have said MJB. But listen,
but she didn't.
An article. Listen.
Other people.
Listen, an article by the Grio said they named it Beyonce's Break My Soul remix is a retort to Kelis. Because it's, yes.
Yeah, now that part I can see.
Because it says the song begins with Beyonce singing a lot of la la la's, almost dangling them in Kelis's face. It's like one sister antagonizing another. I got your la la la's. And then Beyonce sings, I vow to love thy hater. Is she not talking about Kelis? She could have followed that line with a sample of Michelle Obama saying, when they go low, we go high. Because in a way, she's taking the high ground, responding to Kelis's anger with grace-filled love. She sings, redirect all that anger to me. Give it to me. Of course, it's not entirely a high road because reusing those contested la la la's is just wow. Oh, the pettiness. Oh, the shade. I'm so here for it.
I feel like I'm like in another planet. What happened between Kelis and Beyonce? Did I miss something?
She used I forgot which
Energy.
Song.
It was a song called Energy, and Kelis had came out.
She used
publicly
milkshakes.
La 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 la.
Yeah,
so Beyonce used that part.
You used the sample, which was okayed by the people who own the song.
By Pharrell. But she didn't call Kelis directly.
Oh, and so Kelis was upset about that.
Yeah.
And she went online and gave her video talking about her anger about the situation. And
Beyonce then took the sample off.
So then Beyonce was just like, you know what? Since you have such an issue with it,
I'm gonna take it off.
I'm going to take it off. And
So
she
now,
took it off.
Now with this current song, she still starts out with La La La.
The remix, she opens the song with La La La.
Oh, but in a different way.
Yes.
Ah.
So that part I could see, but this whole she don't mess with Mary. Stop. You're trying to find a story that's not there.
Cause Nicki and Beyonce go to lunch.
That's all like what? But the sad part is there are people who sit there and think this stuff.
I had totally forgot about the Halloween.
Me too.
She did a whole
She sure did. She sure did.
So it's just like, and then her man goes on tour with Jay-Z. He brings her
man
out.
goes on tour with Mary.
Yeah, it's a song. That's it. It's only one song. She still got 15 other remixes. I'm sure she'll do. And she's spoken about Mary before. They've done covers.
Mm-hmm.
Them together. So it's just like we know
They have, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they have.
It's just like, why are we making this into a thing? Why are we saying that she has an issue because he didn't put her in this one thing? I don't put my sisters in everything I do. It does not mean I don't love y'all.
No, I feel you.
So it's like,
all right. all right.
I still like my version.
As you should. She does have a lot of la-las in this song. I'm just saying. She got a whole bunch of la-las in this song. But shout out to all of the queens. You know, shout out to all the queens.
Those
whether
that
you're
got
named
mentioned
or not.
and those that didn't get mentioned.
Exactly. Whether you are named or not, you are a queen.
They're still a queen.
Uh-huh.
Adjust your crown, sis.
I got bills, you know. I got a mortgage. I'm like I ain't got time to be thinking about who on the song.
You stupid. Stop dwelling in the past, Irv. Alrighty. How do you feel about the Break My Soul remix? Do you think there were shots fired? Or whatever you feel, you need to feel those fingers pressing that subscribe button. Making sure you comment and like. Alrighty. I don't think there's anything else to say. Besides the fact that we need a vacation.
Yay.
Sancho Pay, where are you?
Ciao.
We need you. Anyway, to the viewers, we love you and we thank you for watching. To Shanah Dawn, Kish, I'm Chaya, the Gen X, formerly known as the baby boomer from Brooklyn.
You ever gonna let that go?
Nope. Thank you all for watching Between Sisters. We love you.